In almost the exact same formula, the green and gold have delivered 2 straight wins. Solid pitching performances from 2 young arms has kept the Athletics in the game, and some late-inning offense has supplied Bob Melvin and the gang with a pair of 2-1 victories. Today, can their hottest starter deliver another electric performance? A.J. Griffin and the A's look to finish the homestand strong with a series sweep versus Kansas City. It's the A's and the Royals next. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball at the O.Co Coliseum. It is also Hyundai Sunday here on Comcast Sportsnet California. That's brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. A.J. Griffin and the Athletics going for the sweep of the Royals this afternoon. So it's the homestand finale. The Royals and the Athletics coming up right here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, in this series so far, the A's have scored a total of 4 runs on 11 hits. But thanks to some great pitching, they have won the first 2 games. And not only great pitching, Ray, but the hits have come at the right time, and they've been extra base hits.
You know, I like the pitching because when you don't get a lot of run support, you have to pitch. But the A's got just enough. Okay, so on Friday night, a couple of home runs. Josh Donaldson is playing as well as anybody in all of baseball. Gets a 3-1 fastball. He deposited just over the out-of-town scoreboard. That would tie the game. And an inning later, how about a cutter to Adam Rosales? 16 seconds plus around the bases. And that gave the A's a 2-1 lead, just enough to win on Friday night against James Shields. Irvin Santana last night, always tough against the Athletics. Eric Sogard gets a mistake fastball with a couple of strikes. He drives it to right center. Jed Lowry brings him in with a sac fly. Overthrow by Kane. Really didn't matter because the next batter did an outstanding job. This was a slider down. It looked like Perez is trying to block the ball. This was over the left center field, over the head of Kane, and Brandon Moss with an RBI triple, and the A's scored 2 runs, just enough.
Nice and simple, just the way we like it. Now, certainly for the A's with A.J. Griffin starting today, this homestand started with a win over the Rangers, and Griffin got the win, and he pitched very well against a good Texas team. 8
strikeouts, no walks, and the one thing he came up with was an outstanding slider, a chase slider, and it's a pitch that he decided he's going to throw a little bit more because his cut fastball was flat about 85 miles per hour. He said, why throw that and get hit? So I'm going to develop a slider. He did it very effectively. Could not ask for a better pitcher to take the mound trying to sweep a series.
The Royals will send Luis Mendoza, another right-hander, to the mound. So Mendoza and Griffin is your pitching matchup. Indeed, the A's are going for the sweep of the Kansas City Royals. Lineups, first pitch on a beautiful day for baseball when we come back.
California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax.
Gorgeous day in the Bay Area as the A's wrapping up this homestand. And what they'd like to do is have a winning homestand. Why not? They're 3-2 with one more game left to play, and they'll try to do it this afternoon behind the big right-hander, A.J. Griffin. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. Gorgeous day. 77 degrees, just a light breeze, not a cloud in the sky. And we always enjoy day baseball at the Coliseum. So the A's earlier in the week lost 2 out of 3 to the Texas Rangers. They have a chance to sweep the Royals here today. Here is the lineup for the KC Royals. David Lowe will lead it off. Escobar hits second to play short. Gordon to left. Butler the DH. Hosmer at first. Moustakas at third. Francoeur right. George Kataris, our old friend, is the catcher, and Chris Getz, the second baseman.
Corey Blazer just looked at the clock as A.J. Griffin was ready to pitch. He looked at the clock and said, it's not 1:07 yet. So, Griff, we'll talk about you. He keeps looking, But let's go. I'm ready to pitch. Well,
he's dying to go.
Now he's ready. It's 1:07, and that's why the umpires wait until that magical number appears on the clock. So AJ, slow down a little bit.
First pitch to David Lowe is on the outside corner for a strike. So we're underway. The A's and the Royals.
The breeze blowing, Cap, the hair flowing up beneath the cap of A.J. Griffin is going to be blowing quite a bit. That may be a distraction for the hitters.
So you're saying if the wind is an issue, we should not look at the flags because they always confuse us. We should just look at Griffin's locks.
Exactly.
Probably right.
They get longer and longer, but he keeps pitching better and better.
1-2 now to David Lowe. Lowe played on Friday night, did not play last night, had a couple of hits in that game. Shoots that one towards Sogard, and that's the first out of the ball game.
Good changeup thrown by A.J. Griffin as Lowe Friday night went opposite field, but A.J. brilliant start in his last one against the Texas Rangers to improve his record to 4-3. Did not have a walk in that game. Only 13 walks in 51 2/3 innings this year. So a nice strikeout to walk ratio for the A's right-hander, who is trying to help the A's win this game today and head down to Texas after losing 2 of 3 to the Rangers, trying to do the 3-3 against the Royals.
Alcides Escobar steps in. 252 for Escobar. There's that big curve, and it's 0-2.
Thing about A.J. Griffin, Cap, a lot of times a good curveball like that, you need to throw it a few times, but it's amazing how A.J. can come out of the bullpen. He throws his first curveball right over the top, perfectly executed.
Another curveball. Big hop for Sogard, and that's out number 2. Here's the A's defensively today. Cespedes at left, Young in center, Smith in right, and Donaldson, Lowry left side, Sogard, Moss right side, Norris again behind the plate. John Jaso still not feeling 100%. That leg is bothering him, and maybe we noticed it last night when he was DHing.
Well, even you're right, swinging the bat, so you can imagine it's his right leg, so it's the front leg for him as a left-handed hitter, the push-off leg as a catcher. And the bruise getting some treatment from the A's trainers, and well, until he can get back behind the plate and be able to push off his right foot without any pain, it's going to be difficult. And trying to keep his bat in the lineup, but last night hard slider from Santana working very effectively. So Coco gets to DH today.
He's ready. Helmet on, ready to roll.
It's beauty of the American League, the old DH. You're playing, you can the guy half a day off to keep him out in the field. Of course, Coco just coming back from the disabled list.
Curveball is dropped into right field for a hit. Gordon went down to get that one. Kind of a cue shot, but a 2-out hit for Gordon.
Gordon is the type of hitter that can't hit this curveball. Stayed at kind of the middle of the plate, but a very, very good swing. And there's your Good curveball, great rotation, does stay up a little bit, but Gordon, as good hitters will do, fooled maybe with the front part of his body, but kept his bat back and able to make contact. And as hot as he is, not surprised it was a base hit, except for Sean Doolittle last night. That's a little different.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cleanup hitter Butler steps in. Butler, a couple hits in the series, 2 for 8 with an RBI. Butler 30 RBIs on the year. That is a team high. Gordon has 28.
AJ just threw a cut fastball that Butler would not bite at, so he's thrown the cutter, is not throwing the harder slider and the bigger break of the slider.
Fly ball into foul territory. Seth Smith on the run, reaches up, makes the catch. Side retired. A hit and a runner left for the Royals. Here come the A's in the bottom of the first. Check out the lineup. Chris, Bill DH, then Lowry, Cespedes, Moss, Donaldson, Smith, Young, Norris, Sogar.
Luis Mendoza on the mound for the Royals, and for Mendoza, he has not gotten a chance to pitch a lot simply because of a lot of off days because of rainouts and the lockdown in Boston, so he's been skipped, and as a result the sinking fastball has not been sinking as much, at least during those periods of time. Straighten it out, but he does have a good sinking fastball. Record of 1-2 on the season.
And that one win came in his last start, and he pitched pretty well against the Angels down in Los Angeles. Got a lot of run support.
What?
Yeah.
The Royals saying what?
Yeah, and they did score a lot of runs in that series before coming here.
It's amazing.
I think it was 22 in 3 games when they took 2 out of 3 from the Angels, but they have been shut down here. Coco fouls it back.
Kev, I think you said it best. It's a matter of when you play a team. The Royals scoring the runs against the Angels and came up north, maybe the off day on Thursday. They got to enjoy it. There's your numbers for the Royals. That's just a little tough.
Okay.
That makes it worse when you have 2 strikes on a hitter and give him a pitch to hit. The leadoff base hit.
So Coco's aboard. Here's the Royals defense. Gordon in left, Lowe in center, Francoeur in right, Moustakas at third, Escobar at short, Getz at second, Hosmer at first. Kataris is the catcher. So Crisp is aboard, and here's Jed Lowry. Lowry line drive, juggled a little bit, but Moustakas hangs on. He was playing in, so he just barely was able to get his glove up in time. Nice play just to hang on.
Man, that's a double down the line, second and third at least, maybe an RBI. And Moustakas, they call it the hot corner, and that's the reason right there, 90 feet away, and a bullet. You better be thankful. Mendoza just gave up what could have been a real big hit for the A's. Moustakas still shaking his head.
Besides that, maybe playing back is a better idea, especially with Cespedes stepping in. First pitch to Cespedes is popped up. The catcher Kataris comes back and he's got it. So that's out number 2. Cespedes on 1 pitch is retired.
Well, Cespedes has been aggressive, swinging at almost everything that's thrown at him. That was a really hanging slider that he just got under.
So here's Moss hitting the cleanup spot. Had the big triple last night that gave the A's the 2-1 lead. 2 for 6 in the series. And 256 overall is the batting average.
Does it surprise you at all that Brandon Moss has a little country music with his walk-up?
No, not really. Not really. Not really.
You can understand exactly what they were saying, too.
Pitch is outside to Moss. Luis Mendoza. He's a big guy. 6'3", 245 pounds. According to the notes, Mendoza made his major league debut against the Athletics, but it was with the Texas Rangers, and it was back in September of 2007. I'd like to say I remembered the outing, but I would be lying.
I don't remember it either, Kai.
And you got a pretty good memory about stuff.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah.
I do remember 2007. The A's went to Houston. Kurt Suzuki made his debut. That's when he joined the club.
That's right. Well, last year, Mendoza made 25 starts, was 8-10 with an ERA of 4.23. That was his first full season in the big leagues. And he gets the strikeout of Moss. So a leadoff single by Coco Crisp, but he's left at first, and we're scoreless after 1. weekend cash giveaway. Thousands of dollars every weekend. Visit cashcreek.com for details. Sunday afternoon. Not a bad place to be at the ballpark. Decent crowd today. Had a sellout last night. First pitch to Eric Hosmer is low. Hosmer, Moustakas, Francoeur. Nice play by a fan right below us, about 2 sections over. Nobody was in front of him. He stood up, had his glove on, and he really made it look easy.
Plaza level seats here at the Coliseum are actually very good for foul balls.
Yeah, he just got one. That one's ripped to right field. Smith headed toward the corner, and he goes into a slide, and he caught it. Seth Smith tracking it all the way, went into a slide right at the last minute, and he made a nice play.
Well, off the bat, it looked like it might go the distance, but it was a changeup off the end of the bat. Hosmer down the line, but Seth Smith, remember, he has played mostly in left field. And then moves over to right field and makes a spectacular play, taking extra bases away from Hosmer, who could not believe it. Didn't go in the opposite field, and fastballs, getting hits, but try to pull a changeup. Seth Smith can move around in the outfield. Maybe the off night last night helped him.
Sure.
So Hyundai Sunday works for defense as well as for Seth Smith's offense.
It's his day. Remember, he ran a long ways for the foul ball in the first inning, so he's got a couple 50-yard sprints in him already. 1-1 to Mike Moustakas. Moustakas cannot get going, hitting 185 with 4 home runs, 10 RBI.
Seth Smith a long run to get to the ball because the outfield shading Hosmer towards the opposite field just because that's the way he has been hitting. Seth Smith reacted perfectly.
Strike 3 called. Moustakas never got the bat off his shoulders. And that's the first strikeout for Griffin.
So we talked about the cut fastball from A.J. Griffin. This is the back door. His catcher's outside. There's a cutter bringing it in from the back door. And Mariano Rivera is the specialist at doing this. See the rotation on the ball. That's just a slight cut. It's not the true slider. And just freezes a hitter. A lot of times they will not be able to get the bat off the shoulder, as Moustakas showed. An excellent pitch by A.J. So he's got both the cutter and the bigger slider.
2 outs for Francoeur. Skies one to shallow center. Sogard called off by Young. Chris Young has it. Side retired. Nice inning for Griffin. Bottom of the second coming up. Donaldson, Smith, and Young to hit for the A's. In-Game Live. It's presented by Chevron to enhance the in-game experience on your computer, your smartphone, or tablet. Follow the action on the diamond like never before with in-depth stats up to the second box scores. And join the social buzz with other fans. A's In-Game Live is presented by Chevron, only at csncalifornia.com. Mendoza's first pitch to Donaldson is dribbled down the third base line. Moustakas makes a nice play and throws out Donaldson for out number 1.
Right, Moustakas had a little tough time getting the ball out of his glove and a good grip, but adjusted as he was running. And that's what infielders are able to do. Slow hit ball and had to charge, but Slight right there taking the time to get the four-seam grip. And all the while able to look at the hitter running down the line. Does not need to rush. Takes his time. Strong arm. And nice play on the other end by Hosmer to make sure that it's an out.
So here is Seth Smith. Smith hitting in the 6th spot. Seen him make a couple of nice plays in right field already in this game. The Royals slide everybody over. It's not a shift, but Escobar, the shortstop, is behind second base. And that one bounced right through the middle of the diamond into center field. 1-out single for Smith.
Seth Smith with the night off last night. Low fastball, cut him down the middle and drives it towards right center. Nice swing. So he got nice and loose catching all the fly balls in right field. Comes up with a big hit with 1 out.
So Chris Young steps in. Chris Young was 0 for 2 last night with a walk, coming off the disabled list. Young playing center field today. Had action in right field last night. There's a fastball for a strike. Well, the A's at 500, 22 and 22, 6.5 back of those Texas Rangers. A's are 12 and 10 at home, 10 and 12 on the road. We will not see the Royals again until July. It'll be July 5, 6, and 7 when the A's head to Kansas City.
Right before the All-Star break.
Yep.
That will be it. Home and away, and that's it. The Central Division.
Probably won't be needing our heavy jackets. Mariners 8.5 back, and again these are the standings, which include the Mariners losing again today. The Indians shut out the Mariners 6-0, so that is included in updated standings. Rolled foul.
Well, the Indians are hot. Looked like they had a good crowd again today at
what they have beyond
Progressive Field. That wasn't big. It looked big. I guess they just, the director was tremendous in showing some shots that looked like it was a packed house.
Well, we know directors who can do that.
Well, they'll start coming out in downtown Cleveland, especially since they're winning.
Well, yeah, that's a sweep.
Yeah.
3-2 now to Chris Young.
19. That's not bad for a Sunday afternoon for Cleveland.
The Rangers will play tonight. They have the night game hosting the Tigers. That's a 4-game series, and the Rangers have won 2 of the first 3, so they'll wrap it up and then get ready to host the Athletics. Fister for the Tigers, Holland for the Rangers tonight. So the A's will not face Derek Holland in that upcoming series.
Thought you were talking about the ball to Chris Young. A fister got in on his hand.
It was a fister. You're exactly right.
It was ball for Fister, but he knew it was too close to take, so he swung and fortunately fouled it back. Smitty was not running on the first 3-2.
Not running again, and this one's popped up playable. Both infielders shading their eyes, and it's going to be the shortstop Escobar who has it.
MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Oakland Athletics baseball with audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit OaklandAthletics.com for details.
So here's Norris.
Well, Mendoza faced the A's last year. He only gave up 1 run. That was the game we referenced with Bourgeois when Tommy Malone pitched in first inning. Josh Reddick threw Bourgeois out at third base after a double by the outfielder. But Mendoza just an RBI hit, I think, by Josh Donaldson in the game. And that was it. 1-0 A's victorious on the April 9th. Following the Mariners weekend.
Fastball is a strike on the outside corner. Let's check that game out.
This was it. Opposite field, and Josh Donaldson did it perfectly. And with the runner at third, even Frenchie Francoeur could not throw him out. But Josh Donaldson coming up with a big hit to the opposite field.
Hit hard, and a nice play by Escobar. He stayed with a tough hop. Side retired. A hit and a runner left for the A's. And we're through 2 from Oakland. No score. He dodged. He weaved. He did the rope-a-dope, Ray. But when it was all said and done, Tommy Malone got the victory. He went 6 innings, had 4 strikeouts. He walked 3, 111 pitches. And just at the right time, the A's scored their 2 runs, and Malone got the victory. I'm telling you, he was Muhammad Ali last night doing the rope-a-dope.
I think he was better. He didn't go down.
He did not go down.
I don't think Muhammad Ali ever went down either on the rope-a-dope. But Tommy Malone, I asked him, I said, did you feel like you were better as the game progressed? He said, definitely. You know, we talked about that, how sometimes a pitch count will get a pitcher. Chavez was up in the 2nd inning.
Yes, he was.
And it wasn't so much that Malone was struggling, it was that the pitch count started to get up. But as the game progressed, and he gave up nothing the last 4 innings that he pitched, but got better and better as the game went. And fortunately for him, and a credit to Bob Melvin leaving him in the game for the 6th complete, and the A's scored the 2 runs and rewarded him with a win.
George Kataris hits this one towards second. Sogard scoops it up.
Bases loaded, and Leonard put up a stat on runners in score position, and this was remarkable. Change up to Johnson, and then back-to-back strikeouts, 3-2 fastball, and then a high fastball to Escobar, struck him out. So foul, pop-up, couple of strikeouts. Tommy Malone, whose daily act, gave up nothing with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 2nd inning. And that cool demeanor you never knew walking off. He wasn't excited, just the same Tommy Malone, just get the job done.
1-1 to Chris Getz. Our first look at him in this series. Getz just kind of slaps the ball around. Swing and a miss. The Royals in this series have scored just 2 runs. They now have 11 hits. They have not hit a home run, and they have not stolen a base. Now, they have not hit a lot of home runs this year, but they have stolen a lot of bases, 2nd most in the American League, but none in this series. So they really haven't done anything offensively, and haven't even really created any scoring chances. And the A's pitching deserves a lot of credit for that. And Getz is aboard with 1 out.
Although fastball looked like A.J. Griffin either wanted the pitch or upset with himself that he walked Getz, who is making his first appearance in the series, and turns it over to top of the batting order with Lowe, who actually pulled the ball in first at bat, which is something he didn't do Friday night. A couple of balls off the end of the bat that he shot out to left field.
Getz has not attempted a stolen base this season. But you'd think, Ray, the way the Royals are struggling to score runs, that maybe Ned Yost tries something.
That's a good point. Manufacture, and especially if not swinging the bats that well, hit and run, move the infielders a little bit, or even maybe a straight steal.
First pitch right down the middle to David Lowe, who grounded out to second, leading off the game. 4th season for Ned Yost.
And that Brewers job that he had as manager, that was a strange dismissal towards the end of the season.
That's right. That's right.
Dale Swaim took over just out of the blue. It was let go.
And then they made the postseason.
Yes, they did.
Right.
They were going to make it anyway. It seemed that even when Ned was managing, then all of a sudden the move was made.
Sure, that's the year they got Sabathia, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that probably was the strangest managerial change that we'd ever seen for a while.
Probably something going on there we don't know about. That would be my guess. Only Ned Yost probably knows. Pop up towards center. Young is under it. And Young has it. Out number 2.
Good job of elevating the fastball by A.J. Griffin. Through the 3-2, just down off the plate to Getz with the 3-2 count, and then elevated the fastball 0-2 to Lowe. I thought what Lowe did on Friday night, just kind of referenced the Brett Gardner, just slapped the ball, utilized the speed, and then all of a sudden he gets a ground ball out when he tried to pull a pitch, and then a fastball down the middle, 0-2. Tried to lift it too much. Some guys just aren't blessed with a lot of power and don't even try to show it.
Escobar shoots one into right field, and that's a base hit. Getz is going to round second, and he's going to make it to third. So Escobar gets his first hit in the series as he shoots one right past diving Brandon Moss.
Now Moss holding the runner at first, and there's your Exmo right over the top. Pitch outside, a little bit up, about thigh high, inside out swing, and many times, as we said it, runner's not on first. That's an easy out to the first baseman, but Brandon Moss could not get off quickly enough. Ball shot past him.
So Alex Gordon steps up. A spot to knock in a run, and this is where he's been very good this year. A .441 average with runners in scoring position. And this one right up the middle, and that's a base hit. One run's going to score. Escobar's going to go to third, and the Royals lead 1-0.
And I think the disappointment on A.J. Griffin's face is when he walked Getz, because he knew by turning the batting order over, walking the ninth place hitter is going to come back to bite him. And I think also Gordon has proven he can hit off-speed pitches. Yep. He had a curveball first at bat for base hit. This is a changeup down and away. And he gets the foot down. Look where his bat is. Stays back. And he is just a good hitter. And that's the reason he's moved down the third spot in the batting order to provide some offense.
And there's that second time through the lineup for Griffin, and it's been a problem all year long. Anything to the point, Ray, where all off-speed pitches are moving down. They're in a downward.
Right.
So if you get a good left-handed hitter who likes the pitch down,
right,
probably going to see a fair amount of maybe more good off-speed hitters are left-handed hitters than right-handed hitters. I don't know that for a fact.
Well, and that is true. And again, I look at Alex Gordon and see George Brett all over him. And George Brett was a fantastic hitter. 2 outs, 2 strikes, didn't matter. And Gordon is the same right there. That is interesting that on the off day, several of the Royals players played golf down Pebble Beach. Some went up to wine country and visited Tom Seaver, who's got a winery. I know Jeremy Guthrie was there. But one thing Tom Seaver always said, he picked out a player in the lineup of the opposing team. He said, I'm not going to let him beat me. I think Alex Gordon is in that category right now with the Royals.
And you could say, well, if you do that, don't let Gordon beat you, then you're going to have to face Butler. Right. But I think Gordon's a more dangerous hitter than Butler.
Right,
is.
right.
And that's nothing against Billy Butler.
Now, they're a great 3-4 combination, but the thing that Alex Gordon has done is learn how to hit for power, but also use the whole field. And that's what makes him dangerous when you're pitching against him, because he does use the whole field.
Strike 3 call. Fastball inside corner. So a run on a couple of hits and a walk for the Royals. Kansas City leads 1-0.
option to make their mini suite a plus by adding on a nacho bar. Wow, that's pretty good. Peanuts and cookies to the regular mini suite menu for just $10 more per person. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit oaklandathletics.com/mini suites. Chef Rodney is really pumping it up, isn't it? I saw Chef Rodney downstairs.
So did I. Said hi to him.
Yeah, said it's been very busy. Said it's a little bit different now since the Warriors aren't playing anymore. And of course, takes care of both sides, the arena and the Coliseum. So I said, Chef, does that mean more food up to the broadcast booth for the A's?
What did he say?
We'll work on it.
All right. That's a yes to me.
That's right.
Sogard fouls back 1-2. Shutdown inning, not so good for Luis Mendoza.
Well, Chef Fernando Rodney has been coughing up a couple of long saves, which is surprising, as great as he was last season.
Yeah, he didn't blow but a couple last year.
Eric Sogard last night, as we detailed in the open about his great hit, a double, a mistake fastball that he got with a couple of strikes, and Santana elevated it, and a double for Eric Sogard. Showing off that nerd power, man. He's got to be proud of that sign in the outfield, as well as he is playing.
Setting up inside, and it's a little high. 2-2 the count. Chris to follow, and then Lowry. A's trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the third.
Some signs just keep showing up, and that one is always out. Nice glasses too. Gold background with a green.
Another foul ball by Sogard. That's a new one. The old Lowry pop.
I always enjoyed the fans' creativity.
Yeah,
you know,
somebody sat down and thought a long time about that one. Do you want a candy bar or a Lowry pop? Oh, speed pitch popped up. Moustakas really fighting it, and he hangs in there, and he makes the catch. You can always tell when the guy is struggling with the sun. Obviously, they have their glove up or the glasses, but they turn their body kind of away from the sun to see if that'll help a little bit.
Same guys last night with the 6:05 start. We're talking about how difficult it was with the shadows. Well, the sun is the big effect today, and that's what they're looking up into. And when you have a clear sky, there's no background. It's just the blue sky and the muddy water baseball rubbed up, and there's just no background to catch it.
You know, something that you don't ever think about when a guy is shading his eyes like that. Obviously, the glove is blocking the sun from his eyes, but the glove is also blocking the eyes from the baseball.
That's right. We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it happened in Josh Hamilton last year in game 162.
It's possible. Coco led off the bottom of the first with a single. A's could not get him to move past first base as the next three guys were retired. Coco 1 for 8 in the series. Going back is Getz, backpedaling, and that's out number 2. Angels have a 2-0 lead over the White Sox in the 4th inning. That's Peavy for the White Sox, Vargas for the Angels. Jake Peavy is 5-1. White Sox, that's a 4-game series as well. The final of that series, the White Sox have won 2 of the first 3.
Probably the biggest, loudest out of the game, and for Mendoza was this at bat by Jed Lowry after Coco had singled in the first inning. Lowry, a bullet caught by Moustakas, the third base. And what could have been did not turn out to be anything positive for the Athletics. And well, the old atom ball, a lollipop, a Lowry pop.
Lowry pop. Went after the high fastball, fouled it back. 0-2 the count. Hit to right. Francoeur is over and back, and he's got it. 3 up, 3 down inning. 5 in a row retired by Luis Mendoza. 1-0 Kansas City. Opponents' batting averages in the American League for relievers. Sean Doolittle, the league is hitting just 125 against him. That's third lowest. He's pitched 19 innings. He's only given up 8 hits, and he's only walked 3. So if you add up, for any pitcher, if you add up your hits and your walks and they equal your innings pitched, that's very, very good. He's way, way under that. That would be the whip.
Thank you.
Whip stat.
Walks, hits, innings pitched. Is that right?
Yep. Whip.
Thank you, teacher.
All right. What we're saying is he's really good.
Yeah, and I'll say there are a lot of scouts in the stands probably saying that their teams are advancing for, saying, you know, mid-90s fastball, really right over the top, throws hard. And then last night, Alex Gordon comes up and he drops 2 nasty sliders on him and then blows him away. The fastball jams him inside. And then a great changeup to Billy Butler. So all of a sudden now, in addition to the great fastball, he's throwing a very hard slider and a very good changeup. And to go from a first baseman to not even anybody's radar. Instructional League, A-ball, AA, AAA, big leagues, to a primary setup pitcher in the big leagues in the second year. It's pretty special. He's got the traveling Doolittles too.
Probably the most important group. And it's a leadoff walk to Eric Hosmer.
There, AJ didn't walk a bat on his last start against the Rangers. Free swinging club, the Rangers, but 8 strikeouts, no walks, and he's walked 2 today. And the last one, the first one, last inning, came around to score.
First pitch to Moustakas is hit very high toward the right field corner. Smith into foul territory, and he's got just enough room, and he makes the catch. Moustakas can't believe it as he has the bat up over his head. He wants to snap it, is what he wants to do.
Just think if he had missed the line drive off the bat of Jed Lowry in the first, he might have gotten a couple of hits. But since he robbed Lowry, and maybe the A's an opportunity to take the lead, he's out in front. He said, "There's enough." No, there's just enough foul territory down there.
Outside to Francoeur. Francoeur hitless in this series. And a fly ball to center field in the second inning. Hosmer's a guy who will steal a base. He only has a couple this year, but the last couple years we've seen him enough to know that he runs well and he's a pretty good base runner.
Type of base runner that you don't want to forget about. AJ quickly pitched that time, so the old quick pitch helped him.
Hosmer last year 16 steals. Close pitch, 2-2.
That's a little cutter, and it's amazing how hitters can lay off the pitch. And the idea to cut the fastball instead of a hitter hitting the sweet part of the bat towards the end of the bat and not able to drive it aggressively. But Francoeur would not swing as aggressive as he normally is.
Strike three call, and Francoeur goes right after Corey Blazer. Nobody's happy in the Royals dugout right now.
That might have been a legitimate beef there. As a matter of fact, AJ Griffin would love to have this pitch. That was against Getz. He didn't get it, and he walked him, and he came around to score.
That's a ball.
That is a ball, and probably a couple of different areas. But AJ will take it. Looks like it might have had the corner, but definitely down low. And that's what the dugout's looking at, the height. They don't see where the pitch is as far as the plate's concerned. Only Tommy Cam can see that.
Well, Billy Butler struck out looking in the third inning, and he stood at the end of the inning, and he stood and talked to Corey Blazer for about 30 seconds. So the Royals, usually when a couple guys start complaining, well, then I think the whole dugout kind of gets in and starts even keeping a closer eye on what the umpire's doing.
George Kataris did not hit a lot of home runs last year for the A's. Did not play a lot, but when he did, big 3-run home run in Seattle, helped the A's win a game. Very strong, very dangerous hitter, especially when he gets a count in his favor.
And it's a 4-pitch walk. And a couple of walks in this inning, so Griffin a little bit frustrated. 2 on, 2 out for Chris Getz. You don't want to walk the 8th and 9th place hitter, especially when those two guys are really part-time players.
Yeah.
Getz walked and scored in the third inning, and that was the walk that really hurt. Outfield's very shallow. Getz not much of a power hitter, and you start thinking maybe ball's hit right at you, you have a shot at Hosmer at the plate. 3 walks today already for Griffin. When Malone walks guys, you're not used to it. Griffin, same thing.
I think the consensus last night, a little tight strike zone. Getz did the same thing the last at bat. Swung right through a fastball right down the middle, and that's what happens when you don't play a lot. You see a pitch and you wonder, how can I miss this? And then as it turns out, he walks and he scores. So that's why you don't necessarily like to throw the ball down the middle, but challenge it.
That one line foul.
One thing, you don't want to speed up his bat. He just took a fastball out of Norris's catcher's mitt, so he might have been thinking about something off speed.
Shoots one foul again, left side. So Hosmer led off the inning with a walk. Kataris got a 2-out walk. And Getz lines one to center, and that's a hit. Here comes Hosmer. Young is going to throw it into the cutoff man, and it's a 2-out RBI hit for Getz. And the Royals lead 2-0.
That's frustrating. 3 walks, 2 have scored. Leadoff walk and low fastball. There it is. Two-seamer coming back right in the wheelhouse of Getz, and Chris Young charged it but could not do anything. It was a low line drive. If he really charges it and misses it, another run's going to score.
So Getz gets his 9th RBI. He has hurt the A's today, and here's David Lowe.
Well, first 2 games and now the 3rd game, the Royals have scored first. But each of the first 2 games, it was only 1 run. The A's came back to score 2 to win, but today they've scored 2.
Lowe with a ground out and a fly out so far. He was just called up at the beginning of this series from the minor leagues. Gerard Dyson, speedy outfielder for the Royals, was placed on the disabled list. Donaldson and Norris converging, and it's going to be Donaldson into a slide, and he makes the catch. So that's how the inning ends. Another run for the Royals. Bottom of the 4th coming up. 2-0 Kansas City. Of that young lady, Christy Mendez. She's the senior manager of player and media relations, and she's been with the A's a long time, and she's leaving. Her and her husband moving to the San Diego area, and today is her final home game. So we're going to miss Christy. She was good. Did a good job in the media relations department. So we wish her all the best of luck in San Diego. She's been here a long time. Cespedes, Moss, and Donaldson here in the 4th. That one's looped into right, and it's going to be a base hit. So Cespedes has a bloop single.
Heck with hitting the ball hard. Let's just go for a bloop to get started. Well, that's when you see the outfielders. Ian Francoeur, as great as he is in right field, has to respect the power of Cespedes. That's a huge swing, and Francoeur playing deep and did not get to it. Softly in front of him.
So here's Moss. Moss struck out swinging in the first inning. That's the only strikeout for Mendoza in the game. So 3 hits now for the A's, 4 for the Royals. Fastball is away. Moss 2 for 7 in the series. Thought about chasing it, was able to hold up.
Let's just try to understand the strike zone. Brandon Moss, the way he can use the whole field, and like last night with Kane in center, Lowe in center today, he's shading him to right center, expecting him to pull the ball, and Moss went to left center.
Fouls that one left side. Angels leading the White Sox now 4-0 in the 5th inning. It's a good day for Lemonade. It's
a lot of good day.
About right. Yeah. Cespedes, decent lead at first, and it's inside, so now full count.
Oh, we've not seen an A's player run on a 3-2 count in this whole series, it seems. And maybe Bob Melvin just maybe not thinking about running into a possible double play, strike him out, throw him out. Cespedes does have good speed.
He's not running, and it's bounced, and it's into right field for a hit. Cespedes trying for third. The throw is a little bit late, and the A's have first and third and nobody out.
And that was Cespedes on his own, Kai. He said, I'm not even going to look at Mike Gallego. Hard base hit in right field, and anytime a right fielder, Francoeur, Ichiro, you have guys that can throw. Josh Reddick with the A's. You don't really think about going to third, but this ball passed the first baseman, and Cespedes did not even look. Francoeur, perfect throw, and that's why he throws out so many base runners. He keeps the ball down low enough that Moss could not advance. And boy, just watching this, Cespedes head down all the way, just probably assuming maybe he doesn't even know Francoeur's got 120 assists.
He wasn't going to stop.
No, he wasn't. Frenchie can play some outfield, but the A's a great opportunity here.
And a hot hitter up in Donaldson. Swing and a miss. High fastball, 92 miles an hour. 387 Donaldson with runners in scoring position. 323 the average overall.
We showed his hit from April 9th last year against Mendoza going to the opposite field, and that's the thing that Josh, look at the second baseman gets playing over towards second, really bunching him up the middle. A lot of holes on the infield.
Inside, 1-1.
I would think the opposing teams now, when they're looking at the A's lineup, would look at Josh Donaldson, the way he's been swinging the bat. Either looking at videos or the numbers. There the holes up the middle, actually to the right and left side, with the guys up the middle really bunching it close to second.
That one toward right center. Francoeur squares up, And he's going to flip it in, and it's deep enough for a sacrifice fly. Cespedes comes in to score, and it's 2-1. Francoeur, he was setting up to fire one to home plate, but he realized that probably not necessary.
And that's what you really like to see in an outfielder.
Yeah,
that even though there's not a great opportunity to throw out the speedy Cespedes, and the ball just kept traveling. Donaldson drove it, considering the ball got in on his hands a little bit. But Francoeur set up and then said, no, let's not take a chance. And remember last night, Lorenzo Cain overthrew the cutoff man, and Chris was able to go to second base. So with the Royals leading by a run, even though Francoeur keeps most of his throws down low and hits the cutoff man, you not want to take a chance.
So 1 out, a run in. Here's Smith. Smith, the base hit in the second inning. Good pitch there. A little movement. Running away from Smith on the outside corner.
Well, you think about Cespedes going to third on his own, testing the arm of Francoeur in right field, and that helped the A's score a run. Otherwise, that's first and second, 1 out. So, like Gallego is there for the help. If you want it, you need it.
Hosmer has it. Second for one. Back to first. Not in time. Fielder's choice for Smith. You watch Hosmer there, Ray, and see why he's such a good first baseman.
Yeah.
Didn't rush it.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the out at second base.
But he's already set up with a good angle to throw to second base, and Escobar right back to Hosmer, who got back to the bag. And just a little bit late, Seth Smith hustling down the line to avoid the double play. Remember that first walk-off we pointed out last night, the A's, it was Seth Smith who hustled down the line to avoid being out on a routine ground ball to Escobar, and that opened up an inning for the A's to win the game. And Johnny Gomes hit batter walk-off.
2 outs for Chris Young. And the first pitch to Young is a strike. Young popped out to short in the second inning. And he rips that one. Foul, not by much. Jim Joyce had to make sure he got himself out of the way before making the call.
It's good to see Chris Young, first of all, back in the lineup off the DL, but also starting to swing the bat. And you're right, just barely. All it has to do is go over any corner, any part of the bag. Jim Joyce was close enough to be able to see that evidently it did not.
So 0-2 to Young. Fastball up and away. 58 pitches for Luis Mendoza. That was pitch count not bad, but around 15 pitches an inning. And a good breaking ball, and Young strikes out. He's going to run on a couple of hits and a sac fly by Donaldson. 5th inning coming up. 2-1 Kansas City. 3 players in Royals history to have 50 doubles in a season. Tweet us at CSN Athletics if you think you know the answer. 3 players in Royals history to have at least 50 doubles in a season. Escobar, Gordon, and Butler here in the 5th inning. The Royals were at their best. They had a stretch from 1976 through 1985, 10-year run where they made the postseason 7 times. Ray, you were in the middle of that.
That's right.
And I know my brother used to say, I hate playing in Kansas City because they were very good.
Yeah.
But on top of that, they could embarrass you.
Well, they were good because they built their team around the artificial surface.
Exactly. And really, you go there on a couple day games on the weekend, and they had some great teams.
The turf could get hot. But George Toma, the excellent groundskeeper, did a lot of the Super Bowls and one of the best known.
Moss with a nice play, throws to Griffin, and Griffin beats Escobar to the bag. And the big fella Griffin, he had to hustle to get over there, and he did.
Brandon Moss talks about ranging too far to his right, but that time he had to. And not only that, watch how he throws the ball over the top, does not flip it underhand, too far away, trying to lead A.J., and A.J. reached back, and you're right. What a great job by A.J. Griffin, immediately covering, but also reaching back and just beating the speedy Escobar. That's a PFP drill. He's working on those fundamentals earlier this week.
So do you see where that ball was? It was a little bit behind Griffin, but I think if Moss throws that sidearm, it's got a tail to it, and it's probably going to tail away from Griffin, and he's moving in one direction, and then you got to go back and catch the ball. That's difficult to do.
Well, ideally, the first baseman wants to lead the pitcher, but it's very difficult because, as it turned out, Moss was on the move himself and trying to lead the pitcher, and you have a tendency to throw to the fielder, the pitcher in this case, instead of leading him like you would in a football. The pass.
Yeah, if you throw it to where the guy is as opposed to where he's going to be,
that's right,
you're in big trouble. 3-2 now to Alex Gordon, who is 2 for 2 with an RBI single. Gordon 4 for 9 in the series. So he's really the one guy who's played in every game and has done a few things offensively for Kansas City. And he's going to have his 3rd hit. That one just dropped right over the head of the shortstop Lowry.
Well, at least he stayed hard, stayed with the fastball, and unfortunately got to 3-2 and challenged him, and he was able to get the base hit. That's just rear back, throw it as hard as you can, and Gordon's just a good hitter.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. He is a very good hitter.
And you've said it hundreds of times. Pulled his hands in.
That's right.
So he's got his 20th multi-hit game of the year. That's the most in the American League. Outside corner strike to Billy Butler. Now remember, last at bat, Butler and Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire, did not agree on the strike zone. And that was a very close pitch, and it goes Butler's way. Gordon does not have a very big lead, but he's chased back. Had a rainout today. The Blue Jays at New York was postponed. Curve. is low. So we haven't had a rain out in a while, but we've got one today. It's also raining in Atlanta, where the Dodgers and the Braves are playing, and they're in a delay in the 6th inning. Rain delay in Minnesota. Twins hosting the Red Sox. Red Sox are winning 3-1, but it's in a delay in the 7th inning.
That's at the Metrodome?
They're in the Metrodome. Yeah, they're at the old Met. Runner goes, and the ball's hit high and foul.
For about $100 million, they could have put a roof on Target Field, but they opted not to. Had to be a real roof, no Seattle Safeco Field type retractable carport. Not enough room downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, it may have been more the room than the money.
Yeah.
There's a base hit to left field, a line drive by Butler. 2 on and 1 out here in the 5th. So Butler has his 3rd hit in the series.
Well, he just threw a fastball, and Butler very good using the whole field, but this time got the fastball that he's able to look for and pull it.
Oh, this is a good pitch to hit.
That's eyes on the. Ooh, he said that's good. That's a good swing. I like that. Exmo shows it all, doesn't it?
Number 35, Eric.
So here's Hosmer. Hosmer, a fly out to right, and a nice play by Smith. And then Hosmer led off the 4th inning with a walk and came around to score. So Griffin in some trouble here in the 5th. And he got a fastball inside, and he ripped it well into the seats. Hosmer chased a high changeup.
Well, the A's got it back to within 1 run after the bottom half last inning. But what a coincidence, after a great play by A.J. Griffin on Escobar's ball. There's been a couple of balls hit hard by Gordon and Butler, and now some activity for the Athletics starting to move around a little bit.
And there's a shot left center field, and that's a hit. Cespedes knocks it down. Run's going to score. Hosmer to second, and he's in there with a sliding double. Butler stops at 3rd. So an RBI double for Hosmer, and Kansas City leads 3-1.
Just left it up. We saw Hosmer the opening night, Friday night, take a pitch and go to the opposite field. This time the backdoor cutter, he left it up out of the strike zone, but he went with it perfectly. Now the A's infield is going to have to come in.
Moustakas is the hitter. First pitch close, but called the ball. Moustakas is 0 for 2. Curve is high. 0 for 8 in this series is Moustakas. There's that AL average, Ray. You see that?
Yeah.
Getting runners home from 3rd with less than 2 outs. 54%. Okajima starts to throw. Butler at 3rd, Hosmer at 2nd. Keep an eye on a fly ball. Butler does not run well at all, and he is the runner at third. Popped up. Norris has a play, fires the mask, and he's got it. Big out.
That is a huge out. And Derek Norris did exactly what a catcher should do, and that is find the baseball, mask in hand, and get rid of it.
Number 21.
Got it, get rid of it, and then concentrate on catching it, and that's not that easy. Remember, some catchers do wear sunglasses. Derek Norris does not. And that was a big out, especially a change up.
Donaldson, nice play, spins around, fires in time. Nice play by Donaldson.
That's a bigger out.
So a run on 3 hits. The Hosmer double drives in the run. 3-1 Kansas City.
Sunday, June the 2nd, the event features a pregame festival and on-field parade. 5,000 kids receive a Cocoa Crisp cereal bowl driven by Chevrolet, and that's what the kids get to do prior to Sunday games. Get on the field, get autographs with their favorite players here at the Coliseum. For more information or for discounts on groups of 25 or more, call 510-638-GO-AIDS or go to oaklandathletics.com/Little League. You must purchase a special ticket to participate in the festivities.
Getz handles tough hop. So Norris on the first pitch is retired. So Norris is 0 for 2. And that'll bring up Sogard. 3-1, the Royals lead. Royals have scored single runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. A's got their run last inning. The Royals will head to Houston after today's game, as they're wrapping up a long road trip. So they have been Anaheim, Oakland, and then Houston. Sogard, fair ball, headed for the corner. And Sogard, a hot hitter. He doubles into the corner with 1 out.
Well, they started last night in the 6th inning with a double to right center. Would come around and score the tying run. And just see his last at bat. He kept fouling pitches off to that side of the field and stays on this one. Serves it down the left field line. He pulled the ball to right center last night. This time tailing away for the fastball. And perfectly down the left field line. Well, we've seen what the Royals have done with their 9th place hitter getting on base. Driving in a run, scoring a run. See if the A's can do the same.
Mendoza checks on Sogard, and the first pitch to Coco Crisp is low. Coco singled in the first, popped out in the third. Coco 1 for 9 in the series. He takes a strike. Escobar, the shortstop, playing very close to Sogard, right behind him at second base. Swing and a miss. Fastball right in under the hands, which is a tough pitch.
Coco's amazing. Just no stride this time. Just gets the fastball down and in. It's almost like a protecting swing with a couple of strikes, but that was just the second. I give players a lot of credit who don't go on a rehab assignment. And Coco didn't do it last year. Did not do it this season either.
Pickoff and fairly well executed, but Sogard was able to get back.
See, where's the glasses when he dives back to protect his eyes from the dirt coming into his eyes? He says
they're multi-purpose glasses.
Yeah. There's the daylight. Daylight as soon as the pitcher sees Escobar break in behind, throws the ball. There are signs where a catcher will drop his catcher's mitt and the pitcher turns immediately to throw.
And Coco swings and misses. Strikeout number 3 for Mendoza.
Well, a slider like Irvin Santana was throwing last night. Curveball slider that Mendoza throwing. It's out of the strike zone, but looks very good to the hitters as it's approaching the plate.
So now the A's will look for that 2-out hit from Lowry. Well, the Royals, their starters in this series have certainly done their job. Shields was good, Santana was good, but both took losses. Little bloop to right. Francour's not going to get it. It's going to fall. The throw to the plate is cut off, and Lowry gets the 2-out hit, and it's 3-2. He just kind of lofted it out there to right field.
Now, I know it doesn't work that way, but how about the bullet he hit in the first inning? Caught Moustakas. That's a double. So what does he do? It's a bloop. A bullet and a bloop. And this is the bloop. Drives in a run. Gets jammed. Brings the hands in and still gets jammed, but just hit it softly enough in front of Francoeur. And once again, with 2 outs, Sogard on the move. Even the strong arm by Francoeur. No chance to throw out Sogi, who took off immediately. Was being sent by his third base coach. And that's a great hit by Jed Lowry to drive in to run with 2 outs.
Here's Cespedes, who's 1 for 2.
So back to within 1.
That's right.
Amazing.
And no shutdown inning for Mendoza. So if we said to Jed Lowry after the game, he said, see, Jed, they all even out. No, they don't.
No, they don't. No, because remember the pitches he's been called out on, the close pitches that he's shown his displeasure.
You will never, ever get a hitter to say that they even out. And they're probably right. So far today, though, that has been the case for Lowry. Cespedes rips one left center field. Lowe is back, and he's got just enough room, and he makes the catch. Not quite enough for Cespedes, but a run for the A's. 6th inning coming up, 3-2 Royals. The 3 players in Royals history to have 50 doubles in a season: Hal McRae, Alex Gordon, and Billy Butler. Hal McRae 54 in 1977. Both Butler and Gordon. Not just that year, there were a lot of doubles. Remember Hal McRae, though? That's the teams that I was talking about, Ray.
Right.
Like, Hal McRae did not hit a huge amount of home runs, but he knocked in a lot of runs.
He did. And you never wanted to be a second baseman turning a double play, as Willie Randolph tried in the postseason against the Yankees, and he took him in the left field.
So Kataris gets Lowe here in the top of the 6th inning. Kataris right above us, almost into the radio booth, but went just above the radio guys. So 0-2 to Kataris, who is grounded out and walked. Changeup floats outside. The pitch count now at 96 for Griffin, and Okajima is back up, warming up, the left-hander in the A's bullpen.
Maybe a batter to batter, and A.J. Griffin wants to stay in the game. What was wrong? Oh, he foul tipped it. Did he call that a ball? Looked like it's right down the plate. Huh?
I thought the same thing.
This ball's right down the middle of the plate.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's like a perfect pitch.
And how could he miss it? I mean, Derek Norris missed it, but not Corey Blazer. How could he miss it? Well, we know how he missed it. But you don't miss your chance to look like Yoenis Cespedes. That's on Saturday, June the 1st, when the A's play the White Sox. 10,000 fans will receive a Yoenis Cespedes Gold replica jersey courtesy of Pepsi. Don't miss it. For more information and tickets, call 877-493-BALL or visit oaklandathletics.com/tickets. Wow, that's amazing.
Here's the guy who has hurt the A's today, the 9th place hitter, Chris Getz. He walked and scored in the 3rd, singled in a run in the 4th. Changeup, called a strike. Swing and a miss. He blew it right by him. So a changeup and then a fastball. Getz is retired. Back-to-back strikeouts for Griffin.
Elevated fastball, and after the RBI double by Hosmer that hit the left center. A.J. Griffin has battled, retired 4 in a row, and especially last inning. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Gets a pop-up and a ground out. Gets out of the inning. The A's score 1. I thought last night with Tommy Malone pitching, Bob Melvin left him in the game in the 6th inning, even though he got a runner on base, and helped Tommy Malone get the victory when the A's scored 2 in the bottom of the inning. Bullpen took over. Maybe same thing can happen today. AJ can get through the 6th and see what happens.
Two 2-0 to David Lowe. Hitless today, 0 for 3. Cespedes into foul territory near the seats. He's got it, side retired. 5-0 retired by A.J. Griffin. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be Moss, Donaldson, and Smith. 3-2 Kansas City. Go this year, former A's Jose Canseco, the first major leaguer to hit 40 home runs and steal 40 bases. He hit home run number 40 against the Royals, and then stolen base number 40 against the Brewers less than a week later. So 25 years ago, 1988. Pretty good season. Yep. 42, 124.
And a big home run in the World Series. Game 1 against the Dodgers. Unfortunately, somebody else had a bigger home run in the 9th inning.
Hey, unfortunately, you forget about it, right?
Canseco, I remember working with the great Monty Moore, went down in the dugout area. Canseco stealing 40, and that was a big night. The A's, the first of 3 consecutive trips to the World Series.
0-2 to Moss. Strikeout and a single for Brandon Moss. A's with single runs in the 4th and the 5th. And Moss strikes out for the 2nd time.
Well, between innings, Nicky Okajima, like he might be coming to the game, and translator, that is Jason. This is Jason, the interpreter for Okajima. Remember, we saw him sitting in the bullpen on Friday night and had a chance to meet him after the game. And his name is Jason from San Francisco, and he has just taken over as the interpreter for Okajima in Sacramento. So, and I think with a new rule that if manager, pitching coach goes to the mound with Okajima, Jason can go out to be the interpreter. I think that's a new rule established this year for foreign-born players, pitchers.
Blevins has joined Okajima.
Did Norris go talk to Blevins?
I don't think he has to. Donaldson, big rip, files it back. 1-1 the count.
You know, Jason's a nice man, but I got very upset when he kept calling me sir.
Yeah.
You know, I said, that's enough of the sir stuff, okay? It's just, you know. The name's Ray. I know you're probably born to respect your elders, but, you know.
I think you're right, sir. Big curve. Donaldson not convinced it was a strike.
Nice. Donaldson opened up and a good slider away from him, and I think he was guessing middle plate in, did not get it.
Fastball is a bit outside. So 77 pitches for Mendoza. Seth Smith waiting in the on deck circle. Roll toward Escobar, handles the in-between hop and throws wide, and Hosmer, the long legs, able to keep his foot on the bag for out number 2. Pretty good play by the big first baseman.
Yeah, because Escobar had the ball play him and ate him up a little bit and then threw way off the line. But Hosmer, very good footwork, and that's what makes him so good around the bag. Able to stretch out, keeping his left foot on the bag. And no question about the umpire whether it was on the bag or not.
So 2 outs for Smith. Smith a single, and then he reached on a fielder's choice. The game in Anaheim has now gone to the 7th inning with the Angels leading the White Sox 4-0 behind Jason Vargas. Bruce Chen, who's now pitching out of the bullpen. Little flip shot left field, and Gordon dives. He can't get it.
Wow.
He picks it up, and Smith's going to have a double.
And a mistake made. You know, we complimented him last night on playing Cespedes ball and making sure it was just a single. And with 2 outs here, he goes for the ball that was not hit that hard. And a couple of gold gloves, but this is a play that the A's hope they could capitalize on, because this should have been just a base hit, but he dives for the ball. It stays close with Seth Smith running hard with a couple of outs and getting another hit. And Alex Gordon could not come up with it, and Seth Smith the tying run at second.
Well, he missed it by about a foot,
yeah,
which tells you that
he knows right there.
He's not going to make the get.
And, you know, the one thing that fielders would tell you, you anticipate, if the ball's hit to me, how's it hit to me? What's the situation? And there's one that, sure, Gordon, as we just saw last night, did not try to make a spectacular play, and this time he did. And at least it cost him at this point. See if it can help the A's even more so.
Chris Young takes a strike. Young has popped to short and struck out. 4 strikeouts for Mendoza in the game, and he has not walked anybody. And he's generally been ahead of a good share of the A's hitters.
Get a hit for the banjo, man. Can hear him.
He's here. Swing and a miss.
Best pitch that Chris Young saw might have been the first one. Fastball kind of middle of the plate, running in a little bit, and now the hard slider's away.
So Smith gonna have to fight back, down 0-2. And he checks his swing. So 1-2 the count. Smith not being held on by either middle infielders. Mendoza tried that big curveball again.
Well, after swinging and missing the second pitch, the second strike, at least Chris Young has settled down and maybe thinking he's going to get a fastball back inside again before the at bat is over, or he's going to stay away, try to get him to swing at a slider.
Now Mendoza's ready. And the big breaking ball a touch high.
Yeah, Mendoza kind of heading towards the dugout. He's lucky the ball wasn't hit 9 miles. Hanging curveball. And that's usually, we saw Butler's eyes light up. That's when a hitter's eyes light up, when you get that kind of a curveball. Just a tad high.
Three-two pitch to Young, and he hits it foul. Headed down toward the A's bullpen. Young got another big breaking ball. Another 3-2. Mendoza to Young with the tying run at second base. Curveball is popped up. Escobar fighting the sun, and he's got it. Side retired. So Smith is stranded at second, and we're headed to the seventh. 3-2 Kansas City. Brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai Sunday brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. 3-2. The Royals trying to avoid being swept. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So our first look at Hideki Okajima in an A's uniform.
Yeah, he's pitching well in Sacramento. And when he joined the club in spring training, of course, signed as a free agent, and see the numbers in his career: 17 wins, over a 3 earned run average. But he said, I didn't know there was this many good pitchers on the A's team because the A's were loaded. So he evidently had an opt-out in his contract. I think it's June 1st that if he was not in the big leagues, he had a chance to become a free agent. So he is here, and the A's now have 3 lefties in the bullpen.
Bunt attempt. Moss picks it up, and it's a fair ball. Escobar is retired. So Moss was able to get it before it was a foul ball, and that's out number 1. Escobar is retired. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs for A.J. Griffin, and 105 pitches. Well, he will not get a win today.
No, but he finished very strongly, especially when he gave up the 3rd run, and at that point he did not allow another base runner after Hosmer's double. That was good to see.
First pitch to Alex Gordon from Okajima is a strike at the knees. 3 hits today for Gordon.
As you saw with Boston, when Okajima throws, he's not looking at the plate. Kind of drops his head. You're always amazed at how he's able to find the target, but he continues to do it, and he's had success. Pitching for Boston out of the bullpen.
Almost looks like maybe he's not doing it quite as much as he did before, although I don't know that for sure.
Just watch the head if we keep this shot. Just watch the head when he starts to throw.
And that's a fair ball. Half swing by Gordon, and he shoots it down the left field line. So Gordon's going to have a double, and that's called the magic wand, folks.
Wow.
Right inside the bag.
Yeah, this is a check swing, and excuse me, just inside the line. And now watch the head of Okajima as he throws. Checks out his right foot. 4-hit game again. Came in hitting .329.
So 1 out. RBI man in Butler, and they're going to walk him to face Eric Hosmer. Happened a couple times now, Ray, where the A's get a run back, and then the Royals grab that run right back.
Well, a 1-pitch attempted bunt by Escobar. He's out at first. Nice play by Brandon Moss, but then the check swing double. MLB.TV celebrates 11 years with new low yearly prices. Watch every out-of-market game live on over 350 supported mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV baseball everywhere.
So here's Hosmer, lefty on lefty. Hosmer a flyout, a walk, and an RBI double. And the first pitch is a little bit low with a breaking ball. the A's bullpen in this series. And of course, it's been what we could call the big three of Doolittle, Cook, and Balfour. 5 innings, just 1 hit allowed in the first 2 games. Kojima in some trouble here in the 7th. And now it's 2-0.
A couple of those guys in the back end of the bullpen might not be available today, and Doolittle and Cook, who have worked each of the last 2 games, even though the A's had the off day Thursday. They've worked hard. Plenty of other pitchers in the bullpen. The A's get in a position where they're trying to save a game, win a game.
There's a strike. That one catching the outside corner.
Just catching the outside after a breaking ball missed.
Hosmer stands well off the plate. One bounced foul. Chili Davis talked about guys who stand well off the plate. He said, you know, your first thought as the pitcher is, well, let's keep it away from him. But he said a lot of times guys who stand far off the plate are looking for the ball away. You would think they're looking for it in, but no, he said, because you know the pitcher's thinking that.
Well, that's called setting up a pitcher, and you stay away, looking for the ball away to drive and dive after it.
And Hosmer, it almost looks like there he's looking for the pitch outside, but it's a full count. Gordon at second, Butler at first.
This curveball starting middle of the plate, breaking off the plate, and I guess you could say if it started at the hitter, buckle his knees and maybe get a swing and miss. Donaldson way off the line at third, and with 1 out, 3 and 2, see if Gordon takes off. It would be thrown to a moving target if indeed that's the direction they go. They might try to go to second, or both runners may stay where they are.
The right-hander Pat Neshek now throwing for the A's. As one runner takes off, it's dribbled to Okajima, who throws to first. So Gordon took off from second to third. Butler did not, but they both end up in scoring position.
It's kind of a half swing by Hosmer, and fortunately, Hideki Okajima fielded his position perfectly. Hosmer running down the line very quickly.
Number 8.
And now lefty on lefty. Another lefty, and that's one of the reasons with Gordon and a couple of lefties after Butler that Okajima was brought in. Yeah, you think about it, Okajima took the place of really Derek Barton. And not Barton, because Chris Young did that, but Okajima comes up and Resop, right. But it gives the A's another option with another lefty, since Doolittle probably is not available today. Later in the game, if it gets to that. All these transactions, I have to think about them for a moment.
I would think a manager just fine with having 3 lefties.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they're, they got to be quality lefties, obviously. You don't want to just have another lefty just for the sake of having it.
Well, Doolittle and Blevins both capable of getting righties out, and I'm sure Okajima is kind of in the same category.
Moustakas bounces one. Moss has it. He'll take it himself, and Okajima gets in a jam, gets out of a jam. 7th inning stretch coming up. 3-2 Royals.
disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
36, Derek Norris.
Our tight game, 3-2. Lots of pitching again. It's been really pitching in the entire series for both teams. Royals with the 1-run lead. Well, Luis Mendoza back to work here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Norris, Sogard, and Crisp, 8-9-1 for the A's. First pitch strike to Norris, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. He's 0 for 7 in the series.
Bullpen of the Royals might be thinking, nobody likes them.
They haven't seen much action.
They showed last night the most worked last year to the least worked this year.
1 inning in this series.
Yes, and they have an excellent bullpen. I mean, that's eventually bullpens are going to be needed throughout a season, and it's just right now a nice run for Ned Yost, Dave Allen, their pitching coach, to have starters go deep into games. Prefer that more than the opposite. 561 last year, 97 plus this year. You might as well just start staying home at the hotel.
Come late. Well, the only reason they weren't last in most innings pitched was the Rockies were.
Yeah.
And the Rockies used the strange rotation. Remember?
That's right.
So I guess you could say conventionally, their relievers. But these two teams, the two best bullpen ERAs in the American League. The A's are first at 2.94. Royals are second at 3.04. There's a line drive center field, and that's a base hit, and it scoots past Lowe. And watch the big fella Norris go. Digging for third, no problem.
Wow.
There's mistakes, and then there's that. That is the tying run, folks.
That's a single and an E8, and thank you. And, you know, we've seen balls like this. Chris Young had one. This ball's a line drive that Lowe decides I cannot catch it. I'm going to take it on the short hop and watch it scoot. He just actually, my apologies, he took it very casually. And that little casualness cost him, as Derek Norris knew he had a single and then turned on the afterburners as the big guy can fly, and he shows it there, getting into third base with nobody out. And he said, oh my.
So that's going to end the afternoon for Mendoza. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
On Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
David Lowe with the air on what was a single and then the air on him, and the A's with that break tying runners at third and nobody out. Bruce Chen on to pitch, Adam Rosales to pinch hit for Sogard. And the first pitch is a slider for strike.
Well, you cannot look for too much from Chen after Mendoza. A very good outing pitching into the 7th inning, but fell behind after getting ahead to Derek Norris, and then the 3-2 fastball up the middle. 94 pitches for the right-hander.
Infield in, and this one's popped up. Norris to tag. Francoeur sets up. And Norris bluffs, and he will stay there, and that's why. Francoeur, a terrific arm. So that's out number one. Here's the misplay again, and Ray, you said it right. Just a little casual by Lowe, and the ball just kind of skipped on him.
Well, it's going to skip because it's a hard hit, and he was giving up on it, just getting the single, and it just took off on him. And this is a very good field. Took his eye off momentarily. And then Derek Norris able to get to third base, so now the A's have to capitalize on a mistake.
So here's Coco.
Again, with Bruce Chen, you cannot look for too much. He is just mid-upper 80s with a fastball and assortment of different pitches, but not really overpowering. And at 87, that's his top end.
He's moved to the bullpen this year after being a starter and doing a pretty good job for the Royals as a starter. That one driven to left field. Gordon going back, and Gordon has it. But this game's going to be tied, and the A's take advantage of the huge mistake in center field. And it's a 3-3 game.
Coco is outstanding again from both sides of the plate. No stride, just upper body, so someone who is trying to fool him, hard to do because he stays back, hits down on the ball, and I think a lot of times people just don't believe Coco can hit as well from the right side against lefties as he does from the left side, and just seems like he always comes through. Great sac fly. That's a second in this series for Coco.
So 14th RBI, 2 outs, game tied. First pitch to Lowry is a strike. Lowry knocked in a run with a single, and he hits this one hard right at Escobar. 3 outs. So the A's get a hit, help with the air, sac fly, and we're tied 3-3 after 7. and it's this evening at 6 p.m. and it's on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. All baseball highlights. Get ready for the Sharks Game 4 and also all the highlights from the NHL and NBA playoffs. John Henry Smith and Henry Wolford will host. Top of the 8th inning, and it's now a 3-3 game. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Jerry Blevins comes in. First appearance for Blevins in this series. He'll face Francoeur, Kataris, and Getz, a righty, and then a couple of lefties, although a pinch hitter is in the on-deck circle. Rosales in the game at second base. And that one's ripped toward the gap, but Cespedes got a good jump, and he tracks it down. So Francoeur's retired.
Well, ball hit hard, but Cespedes' speed able to track it down, hit it towards left center, and able to get it. And Salvador Perez is going to pinch hit for Kataris. I can't remember our good friend Monty Moore talking about the Royals and Dinger night. I was thinking about that and knew it was 73-74. This 74, September the 9th. Twilight doubleheader. Vida and Catfish. 2 games, 2 complete games. Vida 2-hitter, Catfish 4-hitter. A's won 3-0, 7-0. Total time of game 4 hours and 2 minutes.
Nice. You like that.
And Monty, 3 home runs were hit, and that's when he brought out the big dinger. He said his dinger night, 46,000 plus on hand, and he brought out the dingers, and he was. This place was loud with people bringing the bells, the dingers, and Monty did it. It was against Kansas City, and all those players you're talking about, McRae and Patek and George Brett and Vida and Catfish, were perfect. He's hoping to be perfect in this weekend to complete the sweep against the Royals.
1-2 the count to Salvador Perez. So Kataris was 0 for 2 with a walk. So he is done for the afternoon. Getz is next. So Kojima in his first appearance got in a jam but kept the Royals off the board. That's the most important thing. 1 inning, gave up a hit and a walk. Cespedes, more action, and he'll have this one. And that's out number 2.
Well, you can see that Cespedes is a real athlete. The way he can track balls down. And remember, while Coco was on the disabled list, Cespedes was playing center field and made it a little bit more difficult because then he went back to left field. But he was reading balls off the bat. And I thought Ty Waller made a very good point that in left field and right field, and I really don't think of that about it, but the corner outfielders don't. At least you can rest their body a little bit more. Center field, you cover more ground, and Ty, of course, working with the outfielder, said he thought he could help Cespedes moving him back to left, which. And Coco is healthy. He's in center. Chris Young back in the lineup. He's in center today. He's natural center fielder, but Cespedes has played very well in left field. Good to see Chris Young back.
Getz with a line drive, and that's a base hit. So Getz 2 for 3, 2 singles and a walk, and the 2-out hit gets the Royals to the top of their order, and it's not going to be David Lowe. It's going to be a pinch hitter.
It's amazing game that Getz has had, and at least Chris Young in center field played this one perfectly. The similar hop that Lowe got on Derek Norris's ball. Chris Young able to handle it easily.
So it's going to be Lorenzo Cain. He's going to hit for Lowe.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, for Kansas City.
You know how hard that is on a player who misplays the ball.
I was just thinking that.
He gets a chance. At least get to hit again, maybe make up for it, and bring a lefty in, and he's out.
So it will be Kane. Getz is the runner at first. So a bit of the manager strategy. Remember Doolittle pitched in games 1 and 2. We do not know whether he's available today, but I would think Bob Melvin would just as soon stay away from it.
Yeah, and I think he will. I think it's going to be the rest of the bullpen without Doolittle, and our guest from the post game last night, Brett Balfour.
Yeah, Balfour both games as well in this series. Hangs up for Young. Side retired. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-3 game, A's and Royals. By your local Toyota dealers. Big day for Alex Gordon. He's got 4 hits. He knocked in a run in the 3rd. Hosmer had an RBI double in the 5th. The Royals had a lead in this game, but the A's coming back, and they have now tied it. Lowry with an RBI hit in the 5th. Sacrifice fly by Coco Crisp in the 7th, and that brought home Norris after a huge mistake by the center fielder. Let a ball get past him. 3-9-1 for the Royals. 3-8-0 for the Athletics. That's your game summary, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. So it's a bullpen game, folks. The new pitcher for the Royals, Kelvin Herrera. They'll face Cespedes, Moss, and Donaldson. Bottom of the 8th. Big hits late. That's what the A's have done in this series. And that one's driven. Left center field and deep. And that baby is gone. A's lead 4-3.
Speaking of big hits late, that is a monster. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Cespedes, a low bridge, low, and let it go. And he and Coco back to their routine in the dugout. But Cespedes, you just see his play today, almost like it was going to be his day. The way he's moving around in the outfield. Cespedes almost hit one in his previous at bat that was run down in center field, but this one crushed.
So home run number 8 for Cespedes. That's the big one. Well, it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So Herrera, boy, that is a lot. 8 home runs allowed in 18 innings by a relief pitcher. Wow.
You know, he is listed as one of the top velocity guys. He'll throw up to 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
Carter was a caps with Seattle throws hard, but Herrera can get triple digits rather easily. And there's one Daniel Nava in Boston, the bottom of the 8th inning. And he got him to right center in a 3-run home run in that memorable day game at Fenway when they resumed play. But Cespedes, 96-mile-an-hour fastball. It is straight, and Cespedes unloaded. And we have seen him hit off-speed pitches. Wondered, can he catch up to a fastball? He just proved he can. 96 mile per hour, crushed. Bat speed, unbelievable. And you get somebody throwing 96, he provides the power. You get the bat head through, the rest of it is done. It's a tunnel, but the
big bouncer toward Moustakas, and that's the second out. So the A's have done it again. They've done it 3 games in a row. Keeping it close and then scoring late.
Now batting,
And
right fielder,
Ryan
number
Cook
15.
is warming up in the bullpen. So here's Seth Smith, and there is Cook. Smith watches that one drop low. Well, it looks like Ryan Cook's going to get his first 9th inning save opportunity.
That's right. For this year, absolutely. That's the options. I mean, the A's have a lot of guys they can turn to try to close the game. Of course, Cook, the all-star representative for the A's last year, as the closer.
So 2-0 to Smith. Toward first, Hosmer goes down to a knee. On the flip side, retired. Cespedes, a home run, bottom of the 8th inning to give the A's the lead. 9th inning coming up. of the A's, 3 outs away from the sweep of the Royals. 4-3, top of the 9th inning, and Ryan Cook is going to try to save it. He's trying to get that first save of the year. There's your hero, Cespedes, solo home run. Bottom of the 8th inning. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Cook will face Escobar, Gordon, and Butler. 2, 3, and 4 here in the 9th inning. So 3 good hitters. First pitch is well inside 95 miles an hour. Escobar 1 for 4. Swing and a miss. Good heater. He's 1 for 4 today, 1 for 12 in the series. Pop-up foul, so Cook coming right at him. So Balfour saved Friday night's game and Saturday night's game. Lowry has to charge. Quickly throws, and they just get Escobar, and that's out number 1.
Well, you like to see infielders make the adjustments, especially in a tough play. Lowry had to charge knowing the speed of Escobar, and in the same move, making the play and making the throw, getting rid of it quickly, and it's all in one motion. You do not have time. And then also Brandon Moss knows he has to stretch a little bit extra first. But while that was all going on, one Adam Rosales at second base was backing up first base, all the way running over from second base. So Rosie, as always, all over the field. After all, what else is there to do except just go someplace?
So here's Gordon, who fouls the first pitch back. And now it's 0-2. Butler waiting in the on-deck circle. Alex Gordon is 4 for 4. 3 singles, a double. He's knocked in a run. He has scored a run. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 2 outs.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse Rewind. Yoenis Cespedes. Well, if he is not feeling great, let's hope he stays that way, because he just crushed a 96-mile-an-hour fastball over the jagged edge in left center field to give the A's a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the 8th inning, through the tunnel, and the celebration. Coco after a handshake by Jerry Blevins. And Cespedes a couple of hits today, and maybe it's time that one Yoenis Cespedes is turning it on.
Butler swings at a slider, misses it by about a foot. Butler's 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. Just a bit high, 96 miles an hour. A's post-game live coming up right after the ball game. And now it's 1-2. There's a base hit to center field. So Hosmer's going to get a chance to hit. Butler with his second hit.
And decided to go fastball, and Whether intentional or not, it was elevated. And the big swing by Butler on the first pitch slider that he swung and missed looked like he was trying to tie the game. And then the fastball up in the zone. And right on top of it was Butler with a solid single to center. Smart hitter tries to get the big swing. First pitch didn't work, then he settled down. So Johnson replaces him as a pinch runner.
So Johnson now at first. Hosmer is the hitter. No doubles defense for the Athletics. First pitch to Hosmer, a little delayed call, and it's a strike.
They have to be concerned about Hosmer doing the same thing he did in this at bat when he drove home the run to left center. Stay away, especially elevated. He will try to go that direction. Need to try to keep the ball down.
Johnson gets back. Johnson's got a pretty good lead at first.
And Cook has a great move.
Johnson dancing around. The pitch is way high. Cook pitched in last night's game. Runner goes, and Hosmer hits one to left field, and that's a base hit. Johnson's going to try for third. He'll make it without a throw. And a 2-out rally here in the ninth by the Royals. So Johnson was running on the play. Hosmer got jammed a little bit, but he's got 2 hits.
Well, and also it's a shortstop Lowry covering, open up the entire left side of the infield. And that's a difference in Hosmer right now. And when he first came up, more of a power hitter, home run hitter, but he's taking the ball where it's pitched. And this again is more of, should Hosmer run, what are they going to do? It's first and third, and
you have to execute defensively now. So here's Moustakas. Moustakas has not had a good series. He's 0 for 4 today. He's 0 for 10 in the series. He's been on base once, and that was by a walk. First pitch from Cook. Swing and a miss and a slider. Missed it badly.
That was a slider down and in. Moustakas looking fastball, and he swung at what he thought was a fastball. And it just disappeared down and in.
Lays off the fastball that runs outside.
Now, if he throws the slider again, it has to be thrown, needs to be thrown hard, as was the case for the first slider. That's the key. Throw it hard.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Great changeup. Fans again on their feet as they were with Butler, and this changeup down and away from the lefty. So it's hard slider down and in, elevated fastball, changeup down and away. 3 different pitches, 3 different zones.
One-two pitch. Whoa, a little bit low with the runner Hosmer going, so he ends up at second base.
Corey Blazer almost called it. His right shoulder came up. Watch Blazer, the home plate umpire. And he just would not do it.
So now the runners are at second and third, and the count is 2-2. Outside, full count. The on-deck hitter is Jeff Francoeur.
They don't have to give in. And he could throw changeup, slider, fastball. He could do anything that he wants with this 3-2 pitch with first base open.
And that one's hit high. Foul territory. Donaldson over there, and it's 2 rows in. Donaldson's a half a row in. So he came up a row and a half short of the baseball, but a pretty nice effort by Donaldson.
That's that football mentality. He sees where he is, then thinks he can pull a Derek Jeter, go in and make the play, but it just kept drifting too far. I hope that's a padded,
I hope so,
wall that he just banged his stomach on.
So here we go again. Another 3-2 pitch to Moustakas. And that one's bounced toward Rosales. He's got it, and that's the ball game. Well, it got a little scary in the ninth, but Cook makes the pitch. And the A's, another big hit late. This one a home run by Cespedes. And it's a 3-game sweep of the Kansas City Royals. All 3 games by 1 run. So the A's finish the homestand 4-2 after the sweep. 4-3 is your final. A's over the Royals. You've been watching A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's post-game live with Scott Reese and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.